And Aunt Carol was born on October 29, 1929 in Hayward, California, and grew up in San Leandro. She attended McKinley Elementary School and San Leandro High. When she was 16, she began working at Cress's Five and Dime store in Oakland, California, and that was up until 1952. She moved on to J.C. Penney, where she became a retail salesperson in the men's department, and later worked in what Uncle Log called the cash room until 1955. When Auntie was 16, she used to go down to Farley Pool in San Leandro to watch the swimmers there. Of course, Uncle Log was one of the swimmers that she was watching. According to my sisters, because I don't look at Uncle Log this way, apparently he was hot with big arm muscles. Whatever. So, Auntie Carol thought so too, and the courtship began. Uncle Loggie's mom did not know that they were dating at the time. One time they went to the show, and for other people here, the show today is the movies. And Auntie loved going to the shows. And they wanted to go, and they got in line to buy some tickets. And Uncle Log looked over, and there was Uncle Loggie's mom in line too. Uncle Log said his mom never, ever knew. Uncle Log didn't know that the mom actually went to the show. He can't remember what movie they saw, but he says that if his mom was there, it was a religious movie. Anyway, Uncle Log and Aunt Carol had to duck down and hide. They were giggling the whole time, and they never, ever got caught. At age 18, Aunt Carol married Uncle Log on September 26, 1948, at the Old St. Mary's Church in San Leandro, which is actually the current St. Leanders. And I'm sorry, Uncle Log, but St. Felicitas rules over there. That's this September 26th, they would have been celebrating their 67th wedding anniversary. They honeymooned in LA, driving down in a 33 Ford sedan that Auntie fondly called Betsy. Uncle Log's beautiful bride loved to go to any kind of show, any kind. They went to many of the celebrity shows, radio shows. Young people, that was a radio, is like a TV today, okay, with no picture. Aunt Carol and Uncle Log. Aunt Carol and Uncle Log were part of a live audience and were able to see Groucho Marx and Red Skelton perform. Throughout their years, Uncle Log and Aunt Carol loved to go to Las Vegas with many friends. There were many trips with our parents, Bob and Mary, and with Uncle Log's twin brother, Uncle Joe, of course, and Uncle Lee. One of the trips they were with Uncle Joe and Uncle Lee and Auntie were looking for a good show in Las Vegas, and they couldn't find one. All of a sudden, somehow, Aunt Carol found some show in Reno that looked good. So the four of them jumped in the car, a '64 Sports Fury at that time, and drove from Vegas to Reno just to see that special show. To make a 67-year marriage work, there are certain things that go unsaid. The man, especially, learns very quickly how to keep things peaceful. Right, Bobby?
Yes.
Until Log and Aunt Carol never went to a gas station. Uncle Log said that Aunt Carol never went to a gas station or even pumped her own gas for her whole life. One time, Auntie was driving to Penny's in Hayward. On her way to work, she ran out of gas. She found a payphone, called a co-worker, who came and picked her up. Then they went to work. When she got to work, Auntie called Uncle Log. I ran out of gas. So, Uncle Log knew, left Ace truck, drove down there, got a gas can, filled it up, filled the car up, drove the car to the work, gave her the keys. Auntie, thanks, honey. So, Uncle Log said she always hinted when she wanted something done. Gee, honey, the grass is getting a little tall. Or, gee, honey, the grass sure likes it. You can use some fertilizer. Yep, 67 years. 67 years. While talking to Uncle Log about his memories of Aunt Carol, He always said she looked pretty. She would always be picky, very picky about the clothes, but she always looked good to Uncle Og. At the hospital, Uncle Og and Aunt Carol told Aunt Carol, and sometimes told anyone who came to the room, that she was his first and last love. At the hospital, Uncle Og did not want Auntie wearing her wedding ring, so he removed it. But there came a time during this last week that we've been there that Auntie got better and started talking to us again, getting up. So Tree gave Uncle Og the ring and said, maybe we should put it back on her. So Uncle Og went over to her and said, will you marry me? And Aunt Carol said yes. Uncle had many memories of Aunt Carol while living on our drive. He came home from work all the time to a beautiful home, a hot, delicious meal, and a smiling wife with open arms. He also came home to many of Auntie's pets. There was her toy poodle, Peanut, the golden lab mix Sandy, and her talking parakeet, Opie. And yes, the bird talked. There were a few times Uncle Og would come through the front door, and the bird would go, here come Augie, here come Augie, here come Augie. That bird never spent time in that cage, never. One time Uncle Augie was taking a shower. All of a sudden, there was a big commotion, Aunt Carol heard. She went running down the hallway and asked Uncle Og, what's going on? And Uncle Og looked down at the drain, and you hear this bird flapping around. Auntie says, Augie, how come you took Opie into the shower? I did, and it flew in here, he said. So it wasn't his fault. Speaking of Auntie's love of pets, there's a beloved Mitzi. About 6 years ago, Aunt Carol and Uncle Og were visiting the Bay Area, and niece Linnell called and said that the friend's dog just had puppies and wanted to know if Auntie wanted one. Auntie on the phone says, oh no, no thanks. Hung up. On the way home, she turns to Uncle Og and says, hon, let's just go over there and look. So Uncle Og pulled up to the house and opened her door. She went in, and Uncle Og stayed in the house with the car running. She came back a few minutes later, cuddling this little puppy in her arms. Got in the car and said, see how darling she is? On her way home, Auntie named her Mitzi. But it's really, oh, Mitzi. Some of my brothers and sisters' favorite memories growing up as kids were going over to Auntie Carol's house and in San Leandro. There was always fun barbecues in the backyard with Auntie calling the back room the rumpus room. And you can take your minds anywhere you want in that rumpus room because it was a great room. It was the best. First, we loved Auntie's marinated shish kebab. Uncle Og would grill it up in the brick barbecue in the rumpus room, next to the rumpus room. And they had a pool table that my brother and I would always go back there and play. But the 5-ball had this chip in it. And it would always roll crooked. So if Matt tried to hit this nice hard shot, it bounced off the table and right through the window. We were yelling, Auntie, it wasn't our fault. Seriously, the 5-ball had a chip in it. But I think my dad ended up buying a new window and paying for it. It was only a little. Another time, Matt and I snuck in the TV room. They had a TV room in their house back in San Leandro. And it was in the back. My parents were playing cards in the front. So we were in the back, and we were, I don't know how young we were, but we were pretty young. Not 18 or over, really young. And we started calling on the phone to Fremont from San Leandro, to my cousin, Mark. And we called many times. Every time we would answer the phone, we'd hang up. We were laughing, and we knew we didn't get caught. That was the best part. Until the next month, Auntie called my mom. Because in those days, every call was 10 cents. So we got caught. And my hand hasn't been the same. We had to write 500 times, I will not play with Auntie's phone. And we gave that piece of paper to Auntie, and she just looked at us with that funny face. The 5 of us fell out on kids. We all have particularly funny Christmas stories. For a few, when we were all growing up and married, they used to live when they were in San Leandro. Auntie invited us all over parents, kids, on a Saturday night Christmas time, away from the kids. If you know Auntie, you can imagine how the house was decorated. She had a buffet spread that was always spectacular. She would have about 3 entrees and, of course, the famous 6 side dishes. They were different and delicious every year. Then later, she would come out with a huge dessert spread, of course, her special cream puffs. We would then play Match Game. Remember that game on TV? I don't know if a lot of people in here do. I'm sure you do. Anyway, it was always the boys against the girls. And after a few old fashions, I'm not going to believe what happened. They were the first ones ever, for us kids in our family, that had a color TV. We used to love going over there on Sundays to watch Bonanza. And if you think any kids today would go over to their aunt's house just to watch TV, it's not going to happen. But in our days, it did. Remember the beginning of the fire, the big fire on the screen? The fire in color was so cool to watch. We couldn't believe it because we only had it black and white. And we were always invited to come over to see, of course, The Wizard of Oz on that TV. We saw, of course, the colors of the Munchkin Land, the yellow brick road, and, of course, the horse of a different color. And, of course, Tree knows. That's her favorite thing. Tree can actually recite the entire movie, which is very scary. But she always, Aunt Carol, always, at all times, kept 7-Ups. She always thought of all of us and always had us in her home with those warm, loving, and open arms.
Speaking of Auntie's open arms, anytime any of us girls, my sisters, my cousins, my mom, my aunts, anytime we would walk into Auntie's home in Twainhart, she had her arms straight out, her shoulders up to her ears, and she would welcome us with a huge smile and say, "Hi, sweetie!" And then she gave us a huge hug. I think my papa, her boyfriend, was the only guy that got that same greeting. Right, Papa?
I'd say.
If there are any other guys in this room that ever got that greeting too, don't tell my Papa. If you ask any of the Valladon family what their favorite memory is, their answer will be a resounding going to Twainhart. And it was always understood that the definition of going to Twainhart is having the best time ever with Auntie Carol and Uncle Og in their welcoming and comfortable home. On the lake, on the deck, in the gazebo, drinking, eating, talking, and laughing. Our whole family has been reminiscing about our time with Auntie Carol. These are some of our favorite things. Her cooking. The way she said, Maria, when she talked to my Nana. The way she says, "Hey, where's your quarter?" when someone forgets to put their quarter in the pot when we played cards together. How she's the one that always keeps score and puts a little star next to each winner's name. Jeff says that Auntie was always happy when she played cards, beaming ear to ear and having a great time with everyone. Maybe it was because she was always kicking everyone's butts. Her cooking. How she always has the best snacks. Rice Chex Mix, Cheez-Its, Good and Plenty, Chips and Dip, Mixed Nuts, Jelly Bellies, Bugles, Peanut M&Ms. Oh, did I mention that this was all already out on the coffee table when we would arrive? How when you get up in the morning and there's already breakfast on the table, cut up fresh fruit, 8 different kinds of toast and jam, lots of butter, coffee, juice, and Auntie standing there asking, "More fruit? More toast? I have cereal too." Sundays were the best. We had the best French toast ever, bacon, sausage, eggs, fruit, and she was always her calm, happy, and smiling self during the whole thing. Tara loved the way she would snort when she laughed really hard. That was the best. All of her holiday decorations, so many things for literally every holiday. Her cooking. How when we pulled up in our car, she was at the top of the stairs, ready to wave and welcome us in. Then she would come down for hugs, lead us through the pink room with all her dolls. She loved her dolls. Scott and Lauren remember all of Auntie's beautiful clocks. They all chimed at the exact same time. All night long. Good luck if you're stuck sleeping on the couch. Danielle and Allie, the youngest ones, remember after dinner, Auntie would find them and give them first dibs on the Nestle's ice cream bonbons. She would always let them sneak more before everyone else got them. I didn't know that. When we were little, each of us girls remember having one-on-one time with Auntie. She would take us on the path around her house, walk with us holding our hand, while we watered the plants with her watering can. We especially loved how she would talk sweetly to us the whole time. Danielle loved turning When we were little, my mom and Auntie Netta, this is a funny one, remember bathing my two sisters, Kate, Allie, and me in the bathtub after the beach. Auntie would come, look at the bottom of her tub, and laugh hard. There was always an inch of sand at the bottom. After dinner, Nana and Auntie Carol walked us around the lake, and we played on the swings and monkey bars. Remember we told you that Auntie loved pets? Well, Kate remembers that she loved our dogs too. Sophie and Chasey, Gummy and Bear, Buttons, and even Shiva have all experienced Auntie's love. Unfortunately, Shiva only got to experience Auntie's love once, since she was a huge black lab and was always so happy to be there that she kept wagging her tail and knocking everything over. Tara loved how she never seemed to age. Most of all, everyone loved that she treated us as her own, and she loved each of us individually. And finally, our absolute favorite thing we loved about Auntie Carol was how much she loved Uncle Augie. This past Tuesday night, some of the family, along with Father John, had the privilege of sharing a meal with Uncle Augie on their beautiful deck. We talked about Auntie a lot. One of their neighbors, Karen, texted Bobby and said, "Heaven will never be decorated better than it will be now with Auntie Carol there." And then Danielle said, "I'm sure she's already done decorating. Now she's cooking up a meal for everyone." In Auntie's last few days, she was kissed, hugged, cuddled, loved, touched, and told 1,000 times that she was so loved by all of us, and that she was the best auntie ever. Uncle Augie held her hand and prayed the rosary with her. Uncle Augie once more told her, "You're my first love and my last love. We will all miss you, Auntie, more than you know. Rest sweetly, our dear Auntie Carol."